Hello and welcome, Sam the Midwest Handyman. Congratulations, you have now made it home with several Walmart clearance plants. I'm guessing your current mood is somewhere between optimism and slightly cold and bitter, much like my coffee. You have high hopes for these plants. Um, Much like your last relationship, I am here to help you save the plants. I think we all know that one's a goner. Give me just a moment. I do want to grab a damp cloth. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I have a couple empty pots. I'm going to slide some of these out of the way. You do want to do this probably with most houseplants you bring home. You especially want to do it with those bad boy clearance plants. So, first thing we're going to do, we will save this for later. It can be reused. You can split off your plants later, sell them on a plant page for a couple bucks. This one doesn't look so bad. It's a little damp. But I'm going to go ahead and it's not too root bound. They were growing up. I'm going to break it down a little bit. We're going to save this dirt in one of these pots as well because I have a really large pot that I want to replant another plant because it's not doing well. And I need to fill the bottom of the pot so we can still use this dirt for gap dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm breaking it up a little bit. These roots weren't too horrible. I'm going to move my coffee so that we don't get any dirt in there. Okay. Depression has already killed one of these. So I'm going to reuse the pot because I like to set this on my makeup vanity. I am going to put fresh dirt in the bottom of this pot because the roots are going to go right down in there. You can't see. A little bit better. So I put a little bit of dirt on the bottom. I should have gotten one of my Lazy Susans out. I have about 50 of them because when the clear home storage organizers went on clearance in an attempt to organize my life, I bought a whole bunch of them. So and I use them for crafts and plants, mostly for plants. When we get into the terrariums, they will be very handy. So don't pack that dirt down. Ta-da, this was an easy one. So this plant likes low light, so I put it on my vanity. It's about 10 feet away from my window. This one is actually probably in the best shape out of all of them, but I did go through all the clearance plants and I always grab the best looking one. So also it's a good time to open up all the blinds. I don't know what your weather's doing. We're kind of hit or miss. We're in fall spring in the Midwest right now, some of us. It's actually like 50 degrees the next 3 days. So I'll be working outside a little bit. So my damp cloth, this one is pretty beat up. It's got some decay. This plant, I will tell you, I have a few plants that are my arch nemesises. I absolutely love these plants, but I am not good at keeping them alive. This is called a croton. It likes bright light. It also likes to it likes its leaves to be moist. So I did dig out a couple humidifiers or little diffusers or whatever the hell they are. And I'm going to put one of them by this. So this is a plant that you can spray like a mist, a little bit of a mist spray on it every now and again. You don't want to soak the leaves. You just want to give them a little bit of moisture. But I can see this is really dusty, and I'm not sure what has done this to the leaves to make those little holes in them. It could be an infestation. It could just be, it is really cold out, so these plants could have gotten, frostbite being shipped up to Iowa a week ago when it was probably sub-zero. So I do see that we are a little bit root bound in this one. I'm liking the double pots. We are going to start seeds this week. So while it was warm, I went out and started bringing in all my seed trays. And I have bulk bought a few years ago. I bulk bought a bunch of the plastic inserts. I also have the 4-packs. So that's going to be our goal for the year, is to basically sell. We're going to fill every one of those with a plant, hopefully, to sell vegetables for the garden. So we are going to start strawberries first. I sat down the other night and kind of made out my game plan list for my zone and when I want to start the seeds indoors. If you're following along, I have the grow lights set up, but I did make one mistake in my measurements. I have an old pot. Depression killed this plant. I'm not going to lie. To donate to the plant fund, please visit the About section of the channel. I have a PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. There is no need to write donation in it. I will be claiming all money on my taxes. I'm not sure where the big misconception comes in, that people think because it's a donation, they don't have to claim it. If you're not a 501c, any money that your channel makes does need to be claimed as income on your taxes. So now, that being said, you're welcome to donate to specific items. If you want to donate to my electric fund, write electric. If you want to donate to, my water bill or my rent. If you want to donate to the paint fund, simply write paint in that. Okay. One thing I am going to do, hopefully you guys went clearance shopping at the end of the year. For the season change, I buy myself see this one already fell off, a new set of snips every year. I buy myself, because I am a gardener for hire, so I like to have fresh tools for the job. So also, I will show you what I use. I only use 3 things on my plants ever, really, is, I'll randomly do a little bit of plant food. I'm trying to get more into using the banana peels and the home organic homemade plant fertilizer. I do buy I do buy condensed neem oil if you're a really big plant person or a gardener. Unless you have like Fortune 500 budget, I always recommend buying the concentrate. I was really concentrating, trying to get that word out. I bought this at the end of the year. It was $4.85, so I got it for $3.76 off. I think the big bottle is $11. So I went to the dollar store or wherever and got a bottle to mix it in. You do want to mix it with warm water. I Had a bit of an issue with the neem oil on my houseplants last year. I will say if you're going to spray it on the leaves, I recommend going back in a day later and wiping them off. I'm not sure if it was my rubbing alcohol mix, which I also use, and I also use peroxide mix sometimes. You'll have to figure out what works for you. I buy 90% isopropanol, and so I believe I did not dilute it enough. And I had this huge, beautiful succulent from the Home Depot, and it was like it burned it. It was the weirdest thing. I'm not sure what happened. So I buy 90% because I was using it on my I Spin Fire, and I just started. So it's like it's kind of the starter flame. And I think it was too strong. So just be aware if you're mixing what you're mixing, you may want to actually dilute it down a little bit. Also, I have really weird water in this house. And so this is a highlight. This highlight. This is going to go in front of my window on my dresser. So I don't think I'm going to water this one today. It was pretty moist. I am going to go ahead and spritz it again. This one is my arch nemesis, although I love it because it always makes me think of my grandma. I have several of these owl pots. I picked up, this one says $4.50. I must have bought it a few years ago because last year they were $6 or $8. And when I first bought them, they were $4. So I'm on to you, DG. Yeah. If you're the CEO of DG, why don't you just go ahead and drop $2,000 in my Cash App? Okay. All right. From your yacht. I said what I said. Moving on. This is one of my plants I've already had for a while. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it off because this was one I sprayed with neem oil and I think it got a little upset. So I'm not going to water it. This one's questionable. I think I watered it a few weeks ago. These do not like a lot of water at all because they have really big pods underneath the dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and let it sit. And I'm going to watch it very closely. I'm also going to move it away from the window up on the shelf next to this prayer plant because the prayer plants also like low light. So I picked this prayer plant up for $7.50. It was $7.48 off. Okay. This is a really nice basket. We're going to go ahead and rip that plastic out and use it for something else. I have another one. Okay. Just go ahead and get rid of that. Instead of buying overpriced baskets, now you got a basket and a plant. These also match some baskets that I already had. So, okay. Probably put some self-care in those. Maybe some jewelry. Maybe some craft crap. Who knows? Okay, this one was in pretty good shape. I see we're a little ripped down. You really want to pull this old dirt away. So this is probably peat moss. It's really condensed. Again, this isn't just for clearance plants. You want to do this with a lot of your plants, especially your orchids and your cactuses that you bring home. So another trick I have, where did it go? I had a pokey stick. I'm sure, okay. So these little sticks that come if you do your nails at home and not in the salon, which I do, thank you very much. They always come with that little cuticle stick. So I like to. I also have a bunch of kebab sticks because for a while I had a problem with my cats in my plants. I'll show you. You'll love this. Okay, I do love animals, very much so. Just want to say that as a disclaimer right off the bat. I'm not a crazy cat lady. There's an outside cat. I'm pretty sure it was left here by the last owner. I feed him out of moral obligation. Okay? I don't want him in my house. I already have 2. Once we get out to the farm, one of them is going to make a really great barn cat. Anyways, what I like to do is stick these bad boys in my plants until your cats learn. And one little poke in the bum, they'll stay out of your plants. Just saying. It's not animal cruelty. People always ask me, how do I keep my cats out of the plants? Well, it's that simple. My cats and I just have the common knowledge that I love my plants more than them. All right, moving on. I said what I said. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I have specific pots that go in specific areas. I am going to dump the dirt out of most of this one because it seems really condensed and dry. And I did have a bit of, you know, sometimes we get random bugs in our plants and we can't really figure out what they are. So just to be safe, we're going to get rid of most of that dirt. A lot of times I do spray, I'll spray the dirt instead of on the actual foliage itself. So that's just how I do it. Again, because I've burnt a plant before. I am fighting spider mites on one of my cactus shelves, so we're going to work on those this week. I'm going to go get some toothbrushes from the Dollar Tree, and they're very pokey cactuses. As some of my windows don't latch because this house sat abandoned for a year before I moved in, just want to reiterate that. And it had been broken into several times. There were people squatting in the basement. And so, you know, as if being armed and my dogs weren't enough, just to be extra safe, I got a whole shelf of cactuses in front of that window. So, best of luck to you if you try to come in that window. Just saying. I don't really know what you would want to steal out of my house. There's like one TV and used Xbox 360. There's not a lot of high value items in this house, except for what we're packing, and that's generally on me. So, okay. This leaf is looking a little chewed up by something. Again, this was a clearance plant. I'm going to go ahead and clip off the uggos. And that way my plant is not wasting its energy trying to repair the unrepairable. Pun intended and landed. I'm going to clip quite a few off because I do see these new twisted leaves are popping up. And, you know, hopefully I won't regret that later, but if you found this channel, welcome. Never mess with a crazy plant lady or a gardener. Here's what I'm going to tell you. We watch everything we love die every year, and we do it all over again with smile and joy on our face. We dig holes in the backyard for fun. Just advice in case any men are watching. If you're a bag of dirt, you're probably going to want to find yourself a nice cat lady. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to I think I'm going to hold off on watering all of these. I'm just telling you. I'm going to give them a few days to rest and see what they look like. This is a low light plant. This is a prayer plant. I believe it's a prayer plant. So its leaves will fold up at night. I have a shelf far away from the window. It does say medium light. Peace lily, low light. It said that one likes highlight, but I thought this, I was always told this was a Croton. They're labeling it a Batik. Is that Batik? I'll have to look it up. So, could be on this label. I could be wrong. I'm not a houseplant expert. I'm really like, I'm a handyman. So, I'm like Jackie of all trades, master of none. So, you know, if you kill your plant, don't blame me. It's not my fault. It never is. Blame your depression. Okay. I think people think I just went through a breakup. I did not. This is just... I'm really just being funny. Funny story, though. Come on, let's funny story it. This is my channel, and I can talk whatever I want to. If you're here, you have to like my personality. You're not just here for the info. Because I'm sure she's watching. I don't know if it's the ex of my ex. We're talking years here. Like, we're talking years. Love that man to death. Like, you know, love him to death. Messages me. He's going to be so pissed when he sees this. Messages me the other day looking for him on my old account that I was not even friends with him on. And I'm like, girl, you're barking up the wrong tree. Absolutely hilarious, you guys. Come on now. Leave me out of it. Okay. I'm not seeing any roots on this one. And now this one I bought, and it's looking pretty beat up. I don't know if it's just rot. I'm not seeing much for roots. I think I should probably stop ripping them off. So this, when I just pulled this out, it's so compact that this is why I say to do that. So it's like it got root rot. I don't even know if it's had a chance to form roots. So a lot of these plants, you guys, that we're getting at the big box store, they're literally just, I mean, it's so condensed here. Where's my poker stick? It's so... What they do, and a lot of times on the cactuses too, when we're getting ready to get into I bought myself a Valentine's Day. I need to stop buying myself Valentine's Day presents, but that was the kickoff, was that first clearance cactus. What they do is they snap it off another plant and literally just pluck it in this dirt and pack in the peat moss. So that's why a lot of them die, is because they didn't, you know, they didn't have proper care. Oh, this is getting better by the minute. So I'm a little afraid to just rip this chunk off because I'm wondering, again, I'm not familiar with this plant. So, but I know that this being compacted like this is not good. So it's hard for me to tell what's roots and what's just fiber from... What's just fiber from this peat moss. I'm sticking my tongue out, aren't I? Okay. I don't have high hopes this one's going to live. I do think now I'm seeing a little bit of root, but it's just like they've suffocated it out. So I'm going to do my best to just, I guess, give it some air. Much like I'm airing out my personal drama. Actually, it's not my drama. I really only said that because I know I make a lot of jokes, but I know this one's been alone for a while. I am going to go ahead and cut these off because if the leaf is already like this, it's not coming back. He's not coming back. It's not coming back. Okay? Leave me alone with my plants. You guys are each other's problems now. You want to be big mad, honey? Yes. Yes, he has came here. Yes, he has. Yes, thank you. And thank you. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for helping me out with my bills when I was extremely struggling. But here's where you're going to be big mad, honey. We didn't lay a hand on each other other than a hug. So, I think that's probably... Just know that you are my replacement, just like this clearance plant. Choke on that. You big mad honey. Oh, it's gold to me at this point. Anyways. So, yes, it's true. It's true. As bitter and as cold as I come across, I am such a good woman that some of my exes still come around and help me out because they know that I'm not a piece of condensed peat moss. Oh, Lord. Anyways. I hope that message found someone well. That's funny to me. It probably wouldn't have been a couple years ago. Okay, this boy is so packed in here, I can't even get the other plastic one out. I probably just lost 10 subscribers. Okay. Oh, this is not going well. I really hope I don't poke myself in the face. But this is so... It's so packed in here. That's probably what's holding the pot in. You know, maybe I'll use this stuff to fill holes in the backyard. There's a bunch of random holes in my backyard. Come on out, little buddy. Come on. Hope I don't break it. So I'm not really sure why they put it in one pot into another pot. I'm not really sure what that was supposed to be conducive to. Okay. You can see the inside of this, it's like, it's just packed. It'll make really great filler for the other pot, but. So this does have good roots on it, actually. So with the cactus, you want to be a little more gentle. This one doesn't have pokies on the outside. But what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use my poker stick. I'm going to go around and try to break up some of that peat moss. No one's coming over for dinner at my house, so I'm going to go ahead and just wreck this kitchen table right now. I'm going to clean out as much as I can. And actually, I'm going to get a little more height on this cactus when I go to replant it, because I'm not going to bury it so deep. So again, this cactus was probably not grown from a seed. I do have cactus seeds, and we will get into growing cactuses, lithops, and succulents at home. I'm trying to get through my vegetable season first, and we're trying to raise money for a greenhouse. I could buy the little green plastic one, but I really have my heart set on the big one. So anywho, but it would be better for me to have that because I do live in Iowa, so I should stop saying where I live, but I guess once the P.O. box goes up, you all will know anyways. And you've already been forewarned that this is a stand your ground state, and I spent quite a few years with a firearms group, we'll say. Do I agree with everything they say? Absolutely not. Do I think anyone's coming to take my guns? Only an idiot would. So, I no longer waste my time with that whole shebang bang. Yes, I do think it's really good to be a prepper and self-sufficient, but I think past a certain point of prepping, you are now hoarding, and you are actually making the cost of food go up. And if you're claiming to be a God-fearing, well, American or whatever, wherever you're from, but here you'd be, you know, the God-fearing blah, blah, blah. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Not to get religious, but I'm pretty sure Jesus would not be happy with your plan being to kill anyone that came to touch your food. So that's just my opinion. I think that, you know, we should, if that's your plan, it's wrong. He would have fed the other people, and then your faith would be where you would know that everything was going to be okay and more food was coming. That's just my opinion. Because I know that most of last year, most of my food came from me having faith that someone would bring me food. I was really broke last year, okay? We make no secret to that on this channel. Depression, a lot of things went wrong. Probably a couple people I worked for that I shouldn't have. I got kind of left out in the dust, which is where the bitterness comes in, but it's okay. A crazy plant lady will survive. Anyways, back to the food prepping, and if you've seen the other videos where I really sound like I'm bitter and going off, I am. I am not okay with the plan being to harm other people that weren't prepared enough. Nope. I'll give you all the food I can, and if we starve to death together, I guess we starve to death together. But you could prevent that by hitting that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, follow along, and grow some food in your own backyard. Okay? I don't know how to can. I've only helped a couple other people can. So I will be learning to can this year. And we'll be doing that on this channel. So, just my opinion. Okay. Now I know I say don't pack it down. I only packed it down a little bit because I'm trying to get on top of those roots. And I don't know how much of the light will show you. This was buried probably up to about here. So I've dropped it down, and that's why I was packing a little bit. So I said we would get a little more height on this plant, and it looks like we got like another inch. So I'll want to be careful with that until those roots get down into the dirt more. I am not going to water this. This dirt I'm using was a little bit more moist. And again, it's February, so you do not want to water your cactuses right now. Some stuff you're really not even supposed to transplant right now, but we kind of didn't have a choice or it's going to die. I think we made it through everything. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Slightly behind, which I will always be on this channel. So if I say it's going to post today, it could be 2 days. We're going to start strawberry seeds tonight. Maybe and then the tomatoes and the peppers this week, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you watched the video about my grow lights, what kind of grow lights and seed mats I use, it's down there somewhere. I did have an issue when I did my measuring. I didn't take one thing into account, and so it was this top shelf. So I have, and I'll do a video on that. I'll do a whole nother video on that, but I am going to rearrange, and I'm going to put one grow light here. I'm going to move the second grow light out to my breezeway, and there's a hook on the ceiling, so that way I can get the different heights that I need when it warms up a bit. It's not really heated out there. So we're going to start all the plants in here on this shelf. We're going to move them. Again, I'm trying to produce at home myself several hundred plants. So half of them will go in my yard. Half of them will be for sale. A quarter of them are probably going to die. Okay, so I always plant extra. I'll plant a tray. I'll wait 2 weeks. I'll plant a whole nother tray of the same thing. We could get bugs, we could get mildew, we could get, whatever tornado the plant world throws at us this week, we'll want to be prepared for. So we're going to start with the strawberries. And I will tell you, I have never successfully sprouted strawberries. So I've got the seed heat mats. Hopefully they will help. I have coated seeds. I do not seem to have luck with those seeds that have the coating on them. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, if I need to soak them first. I'm going to read up on that, but I probably will go ahead and get another pack of strawberry seeds, which is probably the only seeds I'm going to buy this year because I have so many. And we are going to plant in the super bitter videos. I have 3 different packs of prepper seeds, and we're going to plant pretty much the entirety of those. So, thank you. Best of luck with your house plants, your clearance house plants, and enjoy your self-Valentine's Day gifts, and we will see you in the next one.